Good morning, everybody, and welcome to math class. This morning we are going to look at different types of angles. And so before we get started, does anybody have any knowledge of what angles are or how they are formed, or just any information whatsoever, any background information about angles? Okay, great. Nice job. Excellent. Y'all have a lot of background information. This should be great. Y'all should have no problem with this lesson whatsoever. So the name of this lesson is What's Your Angle? And we are going to discuss acute, obtuse, and right angles. And so we're going to learn a little bit more about each angle. The standard that we're working on today, the student will use a right angle as a benchmark to identify acute and obtuse angles. So once we know what a right angle is, then we're going to use that to work on determining what the other kinds of angles are. Does anybody know off the top of their head what a right angle is? Okay, it's 90 degrees. So what does that tell us about the angle? The angle is, a right angle is 90 degrees. What does a 90-degree angle look like? Okay, so the 90-degree angle looks like the straight corner of something. For example, this book. So the corner here, this is a right angle. It goes straight up and straight across. And anything that goes like that is going to be a right angle. So you probably have tons of them around your house, around your workspace that you can look at, and we'll go there in just a minute. So don't go searching for things yet. So the way that an angle is formed is that two lines come together. So when two lines come together at a certain point, they form an angle. So we are going to look at what those different angles are. So the first type of angle is a right angle. And you have a pipe cleaner in front of you. What I would like you to do is to take your pipe cleaner and to show me what a right angle looks like. Remember I showed you the book. We know that it's 90 degrees. But I want you to show me what a right angle looks like. Great job. Yeah. Okay. So that's going to be our base. That's where we're starting. We're starting from a right angle. So after we look at a right angle, and we all understand a right angle is 90 degrees. It's a line straight up and down and straight across. We get that. So there are two other types of angles. One of them being acute, and one of them being obtuse. And we're going to talk about the difference of each one. An acute angle is less than or smaller than a right angle, and an obtuse angle is larger than or bigger than a right angle. So we're going to talk a little bit more in detail. I'm going to show you a video right now about the angles, and it's just a cute little cartoon, but it gives you some information about angles. So go ahead, and if y'all will go ahead and watch that. Great. So was everybody raise your hand if you understand what each angle is? Raise your hand if you understand what a right angle is? Very good. Raise your hand if you understand what an acute angle is. Okay. And how about obtuse? Good job. It looks like y'all are on the ball today. So we are going to use what we know. We're going to use our angle tool and our pipe cleaner to create some angles. And so the first question on the board says use your tools and choose the letter that best describes the type of angle. So you can look at that angle, and you can take your pipe cleaner and you can put it in right over the lines on the screen. And what kind of an angle does that make? I'm going to put it in polling tools. So you can choose either right, obtuse, or acute. Or so what do y'all think? Correct. That is a right angle. I'm glad y'all are paying attention, and I much appreciate the participation. So that is a right angle. So let's look at this angle here. Look at the angle on your screen now. Take your pipe cleaner, put it over those lines, and let's see what that looks like. Is that bigger or smaller than a right angle? You can write right on the screen. Perfect. That is bigger than a right angle. So what is, using your polling tools, what is that, the name of that angle being bigger than a right angle? I got about 10 people answering. Okay, yes, that is an obtuse angle, which means it's greater than or wider than a right angle. Okay, look at this angle. Take your pipe cleaner and make this angle with your pipe cleaner. Now that you've done that, look at that for a minute, think about it, and choose from your polling tools, what is that, an acute angle, obtuse, or a right angle? Yes, y'all got it. You got it. You got it. Okay. So that's the basics of the 3 types of angles. You can look around your house and find all types of angles for sure. You can use your measuring tool. You can use sometimes you can just look at it and you'll know it's an obtuse angle or it's an acute angle. And this is sort of like unofficial. This is sort of how I remembered it when I was first learning the angles. So you just have to know that a right angle is 90 degrees, and that's like the corner of a square. So, and that's just something you have to remember. But when you go to acute and obtuse, sometimes you can confuse the two. So what I like to do is I just like to think of acute, the word acute. The word acute has the word cute in it. So in my mind, I associate cute with little. Look at that cute little angle. So that's just, it works for me. It may not work for you, but it's just an idea. If you see an angle that's smaller than a right angle, and you could say, look at that little angle. Oh, it's so cute. And so the angle that is less than a right angle is an acute angle. And that's just sort of a way that I remember it. You can come up with your own ways to remember it. But that is just an idea that I use for myself, and y'all are willing to use that as well. So what I'd like you to do is to go around your classroom, your house, take your pipe cleaner, take your angle measure, and measure a couple of things and write down whether or not they are acute, obtuse, or right. Okay? I'm going to give you a couple of minutes, and then we're going to go into breakout rooms and look more specifically at each type of angle. Perfect. Y'all did a great job today. Thank you for your participation. We are going to probably move on to something a little bit more difficult tomorrow. So I hope that y'all are here. I love y'all coming to class, and the participation is wonderful. Does anybody have questions real quick before we sign off? And I am always available by email or by phone, so you're always welcome to get in touch with me if you need to. Okay, great. So I will see y'all tomorrow, and we'll probably review a little bit. So see if you can remember the 3 types of angles and what's significant about each one of them. Y'all have a great day.